scared it. They're running away. Hey y'all, so I am currently visiting some family. My family, my mother, my stepdad, my niece is here, my brothers are here, literally all of my family. Well, they all live in Tennessee. I'm the oddball that lives out in Georgia. So home visiting, and I just did like a little update for one of the books that I'm reading for like a specific video. So we won't get into that because I'm trying to figure out how I can film multiple videos in one day without giving other videos away, right? So like right now I'm working on 3 like very specific reading videos, but I also want to do like a week in my life or spend a few days with me. So it's like, how do I film that without giving away the books that I'm reading for other videos? So I have been reading. I've been really enjoying what I'm reading. And right now I'm just home visiting family. I'm in my mom's sunroom. She has a beautiful sunroom. It's very her. It's super peaceful. It's her aesthetic. It's so bright and sunny. But let me show you guys this very obnoxious picture of me in the back. It's extremely obnoxious. I took that picture, I think I was in high school, and I made my little sister, who is now in high school, take that picture for me. Anyway, I just thought that was funny because why is that picture so big? My kids are here, my husband is here. I think he's about to put some food on the grill. Yep, he's outside talking to my stepdad, and my kids are running around. You know, can we talk about it if you're a parent? The peace that you get when you bring your kids to your parents' house and you just let them like run the place. While I'm here, it's like, you deal with them kids. I don't know how I'm gonna film this vlog or if you'll ever see this footage because I just don't know how I'm gonna incorporate everything but keep everything separate without spoiling other videos. We'll see if I can do it. I'm gonna try really hard to. Oh, did I show you my sweatshirt? It says, "Take me to the bookstore." And it's just so cute and dainty and literally matches. It's very oversized. It's like very baggy, which is how I prefer my sweatshirts, but it matches my mom's space so well. Anyway, and now I'm rambling, so I will pick up the camera when I'm doing something else that's bookish, that may be while I'm here, and I may be back home in Georgia when I pick up this camera. I'm really not sure. Hey y'all, I'm back home now. As you can tell by the background, we are back to our regular spot. I'm home from Tennessee, back in Georgia. And I got quite a lot of book mail while I was gone. Isn't it so nice when you leave and you come home to packages, especially when those packages are book mail? So the first thing I'm going to show you though, it's not necessarily book mail. These are just books that I purchased because I was near Barnes & Noble and I had time to burn. So the book I actually went into Barnes & Noble for is Tender Beasts by Lizelle Stanberry. This is a new release, and this is one of the books that I was looking forward to. I believe it's like a young adult thriller. They're the perfect family until you scratch the surface. And look at the cover. So good. Now I did also get 2 other books from the same author, and they are by a fantasy. So the first is Blood Like Magic, and the next is Blood Like Fate. So these are 2 fantasies by the same author. I also have her other book, Delicious Monsters, I believe, which from what I've heard is really good. So I think I want to do like a taste test in the future of this author. But these are the 3 books that I picked up from Barnes & Noble. Are they so cute? I wish this was in paperback, but since it's new release, it's not, which is fine because her book that I have, Delicious Monsters, is also in hardcover. So I'm always just like trying to visualize how my books will look on the shelf. It's very petty, but glad I got these, and I had a lot of Barnes & Noble rewards, so I saved a lot of money on that trip. Now for the books that I received, like when I came home, I had book mail. Now, I'm glad I got you guys here so I can vent. Now I pre-ordered 2 books. 2 books that I really wanted. I pre-ordered them from Barnes & Noble. I was under the impression that when you pre-order a book, you receive the book to your home on publishing day. That is not the case because both of these books came well after the publishing day, and I have to be honest, I was very annoyed. And I've decided I'm no longer going to pre-order books because I could have just easily gone into Barnes & Noble and purchased the book on publishing day instead of waiting like a few days after. It was very annoying. So the first book that I did pre-order was The Partner Plot by Christina Forrest. I loved The Neighbor Favor. I feel like I've talked about it quite a few times across all of my platforms. I loved that book so much. It was one of my favorites for 2023. I even got to read this book as an ARC earlier this year. So I've already read this book, but obviously I needed the companion novel to sit next to The Neighbor Favor. And when the third book comes out following The Last Sister, I'll be getting that one as well, so I can just have like a cute little 1, 2, and 3. I love this romance and as well as The Neighbor Favor because they're so sweet. They're super sweet. There's just a tiny bit of spice, but it's really all about the characters and their relationship and how they know each other and getting to know each other better. And I just feel like they're so wholesome, and those are like my favorite types of romances. Like if I'm going to read a romance, 9 times out of 10, I just want it to be nice, sweet, fluffy, wholesome, and with 2 black characters, you can't beat it. I love this color. So that was one of the pre-orders that I got that didn't come until well after the publishing date. And then the second one I was really upset about because I have been looking forward to this book. I don't know when I'm going to read this book, but I have a vision in my head on how I want to interact with this book, and hopefully it'll, you know, work out the way I want it to. But the fact that it didn't come to my home on publishing day, I was so annoyed. When I went to Barnes & Noble to get these books, I saw it on the shelf and I thought I could have easily just purchased this book. I did not have to wait. But the way the girls were buying this book up off pre-order, I thought, okay, I need to go ahead and get it or it's not going to be available, and it ended up still being available in store. And that book is This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. Obviously, this is the second book in the Before I Let Go. I'm not sure if that's the name of the series, but the first book, Before I Let Go, is actually what got me back into reading at the top of 2023. And I loved that book. Absolutely love that book. And I can't wait to read this one. I'm really saving it for like, I don't know. I'm just saving this book. Like I don't want to start it because I don't want it to be over. And I've seen nothing but amazing reviews. Soledad, this is Soledad's story. And honestly, hey, can y'all turn the TV down? Soledad is a stay-at-home mom, homemaker, and she is who I related to the most in book 1. So I just know her story is I'm going to be able to relate to her stories in some way, and it's probably just going to tear me up because everyone I've seen has talked about how they cried and how much they hated her husband, and I'm just like, yeah, he was kind of a douche in the first book, so I'm not surprised that he's an even bigger douche in this book. But I can't wait to get into it, and I want nothing but the best, nothing but good things for Soledad, and I can't wait to get into this one. So those were my 2 pre-orders that I received. So cute. Both of them are pink. Now my book of the month box also came. I ended up getting 2 books, I believe, this time around. I don't always get 2 books. Most of the time I just stick to my 1, or I'll skip the month if there's nothing really piquing my interest. But I can't get into this box, obviously. I will say I look forward to my book of the month box. Honestly, whenever I just see this little blue box, I'm like, oh, books. I got new books. Have I read any of my book of the month books so far this year? No. I have not read one single book of the month book that I have received this year. But we're only in March, so there's still time. This one came with 2, and they're both thrillers. So the first one I got is called Kill for Me, Kill for You. And this is what it looks like. This is by Steve Kavana. She will kill your worst enemy. All you have to do is kill hers. So it says, one dark evening on New York City's Upper West Side, 2 strangers meet by chance. Over drinks, Amanda and Wendy realize they have much in common, especially loneliness and the intense desire for revenge against the men who destroyed their families. As they talk into the night, they come up with the perfect plan. If you kill for me, I'll kill for you. So it sounds like 2 women who are going to team up and try to take out the men who have been hurting them. Sounds like a revenge type of thriller. I think I'm going to enjoy it. And then we have Listen for the Lie. This is the second book of the month book I got by Amy Tintera. What if you thought you murdered your best friend, and if everyone else thought so too? And what if the truth doesn't matter? What intrigued me about this is that there's a cord wrapped on the cover. Hopefully you can see that. It's a cord, and I'm thinking there's going to be some sort of true crime podcast involved, and I personally love when there's mixed media in books. Lucy and Savvy were the golden girls of their small Texas town, pretty, smart, and enviable. Lucy married a dream guy with a big ring and an even bigger new home. Savvy was a social butterfly, loved by all, and if you believe the rumors, especially popular with the men in town. But after Lucy is found wandering the streets covered in her best friend Savvy's blood, everyone thinks she is a murderer. It's been years since that horrible night, a night Lucy can't remember anything about, and she has since moved to LA and started a new life. But now the phenomenally huge hit true crime podcast, Listen for the Lie, and its two good-looking hosts, Ben Owens, have decided to investigate Savvy's murder for the show's second season. Lucy is forced to return to the place she vowed never to set foot in again to solve her friend's murder, even if she is the one who did it. The truth is out there. We just have to listen. So, sounds like it's going to be a mystery. We're going to be trying to figure out who killed her friend, if she is indeed the one who killed her friend, and there is a true podcast element involved. I'm going to see if I can get this book on audio. Something I've realized is that when there is a true crime podcast element, if there's audio, it really takes it up a notch. It makes it even more enjoyable. So that's what I got from Book of the Month. Okay, the last book I'm really excited about. I ordered this off of Pango Books. I recently read Forged by Blood. This book. I recently read this for another video. You'll see my thoughts in a different video. But I loved the cover of that book so much. So I was just looking at some flat lays and people taking pictures of this book, and I realized that I believe Illumicrate, because they shipped it in the same box, I'm assuming, Illumicrate came out with a special edition of this book. Now, I don't necessarily need the Illumicrate subscription because I don't feel like I read fantasy enough or care enough about special editions of fantasy books enough to get that subscription. But when I saw how they did the special edition of Forged by Blood, I really wanted it. I really wanted it. So I went on Pango to see if anyone was selling theirs, and sure enough, they were. So I bought this special edition off of Pango. It's literally like the same color, just a different colorway. I mean, the same cover, just a different colorway. And the edges are sprayed. This is stunning. Look at it. Look at it. And then the sprayed edges, it's just her on the sprayed edges. Demi. Don't focus on me. Focus on her. There you go. Demi slays. I love it. I knew it would be worth it. Stop. Okay, so this is the Fairy Loot edition. They just sent it in an Illumicrate box. I don't care, but Fairy Loot exclusive edition. The inside. Get into the inside of this. So stunning. This is Demi, and I believe that is, I don't know why I want to name him Carlson. What was his name? I forgot his name already. And then at the, oh my, okay. And then on the back, it has the other guy in the love triangle. I love it. I love it. I really did enjoy this book. I love this special edition even more. The fact that the edges are sprayed with Demi on them is sending me. So what I think I'm going to do is end up selling the copy that I actually own already and read and just keep the special edition. I may actually keep them both, honestly, just because they look good together. But this purple and teal and green, it matches my nails too, actually. Can you see that? Yes, it's just stunning. Stunning, stunning, stunning. So these were all the books that I just hauled for you all, and I'm done for the month. It's not even, we're not even halfway through the month, and I have reached my peak for books purchased and books received. This is our book haul. Thumbnail. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go put these where they need to go. Probably take some pictures with my two pre-ordered books that finally came, and we do a little venting session on Instagram. Before I do that though, I need to actually fill in my reading journal. I have been keeping up with her, guys. I've been keeping up, and we need to fill her in. I'm done. I filled in my reading journal. I've taken a few pictures for Instagram. I am not the best at taking like flat lay pictures of books. Honestly, because just like where I am, like these aren't my things. So I can't make it match my aesthetic. So I'm just kind of like working with what I have. But I did the best I could. And I may or may not post them on my Bookstagram. But if you are interested, you can follow me on my Bookstagram, which is Kayla's Bookish Vibes. Literally the same name as my YouTube. And now I'm about to go put these books back. I just love this little stack all together. I will say before I let go, having a black spine kind of like throws off the pretty colors, but it was such a good book. I don't care what color the spine is. I was going to go ahead and enter my books into my Notion book library, but I'm just not in the mood. I'm really just going to order some pizza for lunch and go finish reading the book that I'm currently reading. So there's that. Guess what? We got some bookshelves. Two bookshelves that need to go up. I have been, sorry, the lighting. I've been trying to decide, these bookshelves are from Target, by the way. I've been trying to decide for the longest if I was just going to put some bookshelves over here or not, because this is not like a permanent place for us to be. I just didn't know if I wanted to get too comfortable. So a lot of my books are actually in totes, pushed in a closet, and those will probably remain in totes in a closet. But the books that I have been bringing home, and then the books that I've already have on my shelf, the one shelf that I do have is overflowing. I have books now like stacked on the floor. So I ended up just getting 2 cheap bookshelves from Target, and I think I'm gonna put them up and just put them right here in the corner, and then that way I can also have like a nice little background to film if necessary, but mainly so my books don't live on the floor. And yeah, I don't think I'm gonna decorate these shelves. I think I'm just literally gonna put the shelves together so that my books have a place to be. So they're not gonna be like super aesthetic. They're just gonna be very functional. So let's go ahead and get into putting these shelves together. We have one shelf. We got me, JJ, my husband, has one shelf complete. There's still one here. Just gotta put like the actual shelves on there. We'll see. I am going to be happy to get my books off the floor though. Nothing irks me more. The shelves are done. I know my husband is tired, but the shelves are done. And I emptied this cart. This cart I was originally using for like homeschool stuff. This cart right here. I was using it for homeschool stuff, but I had another cart that I moved all my homeschool stuff to, and I'm just gonna use that as my book cart. And this will just be my temporary book area. I think it's gonna work fine. It's gonna be perfect for what I need it for. Again, this is not like long term because we're not gonna be here long term, but it will do for as long as we're here, as long as I need for it to. Does that make sense? We'll see how it flows, but I'll show you. Okay, so these are all the books that need to go on the shelves over there. And then I also got tired of making trips, so I pulled up this book cart. So these are all essentially just fantasy, general, just like literary fiction, and some historical fiction, and then some nonfiction. Those are what's going to live on this shelf. I've decided to keep a majority of my romances. A few romances will live out here just because there's not enough room on the one shelf in my room. But, ooh, you might see this. So I'm just going to address it so that you're not like, what the heck is that on her arm? I had my birth control removed, and they had to do that surgically. It was not fun, and I do not recommend Nexplanon as your birth control. But I think I'm just going to leave like all my romances and my thrillers in the other room on that shelf. is what I have so far. This down here is empty. And over here I just have more books, and then these are like my book adjacent things, so like my puzzles. The books that we have out now are just like the overflow books that were like overflowing from the one shelf that I had in my room. I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, there's so much space. I can buy more books and I have more space. And then my husband's like, what about the books that are in the totes? And I was like, oh, yeah. Because he was like, you shouldn't leave the bottom empty because it could, you know, the shelf would then be top heavy, which is smart. So he's gonna pull some of my books out of the totes, out of storage, so that I can at least weigh the bottom down. I want to say that I had like some sort of a system going, and I did. In the beginning there was a system for sure, but then I just got tired of trying to organize them and I just started putting them on the shelf. He brought out this tote. Let's see what's in it. This is a romance that I have not read yet. I have double of this book because I literally just saw this book on my back shelf, so I need to donate that one. Oh, Rachel Housel Hall. I believe this is a thriller. Yes, and if you didn't know, she is a Black woman and she writes thrillers. I need to put this on my thriller shelf. And if this is actually a book that I have been wanting to read for a while, haven't gotten to. I remember when it first came out and it got a lot of good reviews. Love and Color. These are all going to be romances, most likely. Tiny Imperfections, Good Morning Love. I do want to read this one soon. Business Not As Usual, In It to Win It. Christina Forrest. I love Christina Forrest. I've read this book and I do want this to go up there. So Tia Williams, The Perfect Find. I have not read this book and I really want to. Love Radio. This is like a YA romance. So this Kennedy Ryan. I have read Real by Kennedy Ryan and I cannot wait for the new cover of this book to come out because I'm definitely going to be getting it. Loved this book. I have not read The Kingmaker yet. Romances, Sean, Unconditional, and Untouchable. Haven't read any of these. Here we go. The Perfect Nanny, a thriller. Another thriller. Brother, I've actually really been wanting to read that. So Riot Baby, Queen Sugar. We'll put this up. More thrillers. Colson Whitehead, The Faraway Truth. The Chalkman is, I just destroyed the back, but The Chalkman was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. Ooh, middle grade. Elijah of Buxton was one of my faves. So was The Watsons Go to Birmingham, but not Buddy. And this one, this edition, my husband tracked down for me because I told him that I really wanted this edition and all I could find was this one, which there's nothing wrong with this. But this is the one that I remember as a kid and I really wanted this one and he surprised me with it. So The After Party. This is a really good mystery. If you're looking for like a funny mystery, I guess they call them like cozy mysteries. This is a perfect cozy mystery for people who don't necessarily like the cheesiness of cozy mysteries, but it's still really funny. It's just very Black girl friendly for a cozy mystery. I really like this book. I want it up higher. Oh, these books also were purchased for pure nostalgic sake. Color Me Dark, I Thought My Soul Would Rise and Fly, and A Picture of Freedom. These were the Dear America books. When I was a kid, these were the only books that I could find. Books like these and like Bud Not Buddy, all the historical fiction were the only books that had Black characters in them, which is really sad when you think about it, because obviously if they're historical fiction and they're rooted in telling like a very sad, tumultuous and hard history, right? So as a kid, I didn't really get a lot of like fluffy stories. So I was always drawn to historical fiction as a kid because I still wanted to see people that looked like me. Now I don't have to do that. Now historical fiction is still my favorite genre, but I can read fluffy romances with characters that look like me. I can read unbelievable fantasies in pretend worlds with characters that look like me. So these will always have a special place in my heart, but I'm so glad that today's kids don't only have to read historical fiction to find characters that look like them. So yeah. The Mothers, I remember reading this and liking it. This is a thriller I have not read. The Water Dancer, I really enjoyed this book when it first came out, but again, I am a historical fiction girly. This came with mixed reviews. A lot of people really enjoyed it. It was one of Oprah's book club picks, but a lot of people also didn't enjoy it. I was one who really enjoyed it. Transcendent Kingdom, this one has seen better days, it looks like. Has seen much better days. What looks like crazy on an ordinary day. I think I picked this book up because a booktuber that I watch recommended it. What is her name? I'm gonna leave her picture on the screen because I cannot remember her name, which is crazy because I watch her while I work all the time. I'll leave her picture and her channel link down below. But she recommended this book and I want to get into it. And then we have The Orphan Mother and The Vanishing Half. So these can go to the bottom as well. And this tote is now empty. All right, we are done for the night. So here on this book cart, I just have books that I'm working with for videos, ideas that I have. Down here are books that I need to unhaul. Okay, so at the top, we finally landed on romances. Like, this is our romance section. Romances that I need to read, some romances that I already read and I really love, such as all of the books by Mimi Grace. I love her. I've read all of her books. And then these are all romances. Honestly, I need to read all of these. And I need to read all of those besides the Kennedy Ryan and Christina Forrest ones. Down here we have, I guess we're just going to call this literary fiction because there's no really like rhyme or reason for this one. So we have Terry McMillan. I told you guys I've been on a hunt trying to collect all of her books. And then we have some that are kind of like historical fiction, I believe. Some Colson Whitehead. I believe Homegoing is also considered historical fiction, but really just know where to put them. And I just put them on the shelf. Here we have our middle grade and our YA. So we have some poetry, some literary fiction, some general fiction, some historical fiction, some more historical fiction. So yeah, so all of these are middle grade and YA. Down here is like leftover middle grade. These are historical fictions middle grade. And then we go into some thrillers that I really want to get into. Some YA, some adult thrillers. But these are just ones that I really want to read soon. Down here are more thrillers. This is just a mix up of genres. I'm honestly just putting these books down here so that the bottom is like heavy, if that makes sense. So there's that. Now, the shelf that is next to it, up here we just have my glass with all of my bookmarks. And then we have fantasy. So we have YA and adult fantasy, just kind of mixed in. This one is a historical fiction horror, not necessarily fantasy. More fantasy. This is middle grade, YA, and adult, kind of all mixed together. I'm not really sure what Chain Gang All Stars is labeled as. I think it's fantasy, but I'm not completely sure. So these are all fantasies. Fourth Wing, I really enjoy. That's the only one I've really read on this shelf. Actually, I've read Crown of Midnight. I believe I read Throne of Glass, I think. I'm not sure of this order, but these are the only 3 books I have in that series. And then some more fantasy. I believe this is YA, all YA fantasies. I just finished reading Forged by Blood and I enjoyed that one. And then down here we have nonfiction. There's some nonfiction, like over here I believe are like most of my nonfiction. I don't really read a lot of nonfiction. This is my Zora Neale Hurston collection. I don't really have too many of her books, but I am slowly but surely collecting them. Same with Toni Morrison. This is my Toni Morrison collection. And then down here we have some middle grade fantasy, and then just some random books that were honestly just larger, hardcover. So I put them on the bottom to weigh the bottom down. And then we have all of my puzzles. And yeah, these are all just puzzles and then one little Lego kit that I haven't done yet. But that's what's on this bottom shelf. All right, those are my 2 little bookshelves that I have. Again, there I have a third one in, I'm so sorry. I hate that scar. I have a third bookshelf in my room and that one is full too, but I won't be showing that one because honestly, I don't know what it is about filming in my bedroom. It's just a very intimate space. Happy with how these turned out. And this is probably going to be my new little filming corner. So I guess that worked out well. So whenever I do like sit down videos, I can film in front of my bookshelf because that seems to be the thing that people do on BookTube.
What you doing?
Nothing.
What? I'm gonna put out the part from Archie in house. You know.
I love it. I originally thought I was going to put this thing together myself, but it turned out I thought we were missing some parts. So I told my husband, we drove to Walmart, got the missing parts, came home, and he found the parts that I thought was missing under other parts. So we took a trip to Walmart for nothing, but that's okay. I think he's a little annoyed, but that's okay. My chair is finished and I have a nice little cozy reading area. Let me show you guys in its entirety. All right, so this is a corner of our homeschool room, which has now been turned into my little reading nook. We have this little chair. I think it's called like the pompous chair. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that, but it's from Walmart. And just a gray fuzzy blanket. It isn't necessarily a throw, it's a literal blanket. I think it's like a queen size blanket. I love those blankets from Walmart. They're so cozy. Just in a natural gray color. And then of course the beautiful shelves that my husband put together last night. I don't think my books are going to stay this way. I do think I'm going to end up changing the shelves height so that there's not so much space at the bottom and that it's more even as far as the height of each shelf. But that's for future me. And then I have my TBR cart. These videos or these books are video. I can't talk. These books are books that I'm reading for certain videos. And then down there is my iPad. At the very bottom are books that I'm unhauling. Down here, books that I'm unhauling. And then my reading journal. And yes, this is my temporary cozy reading space. I absolutely loved how it turned out. And I couldn't be happier. I'm not sure how long we'll be where we are. But for as long as we are here, this will definitely do. Again, I do have another shelf in my bedroom that is full, but we won't worry about that shelf. These shelves are lifesavers, and now my books are no longer living on the floor, and I have a cozy chair that I can read out of. So all is well that ends well. This chair will definitely get used a lot. I think I'm going to put my my little Kindle reader right here on this bar. We'll see if it'll hold up there. I actually need to buy another one because mine's broke. I was moving it around too much. So when I place this one, it's going to have to stay where it's going to live so that it doesn't break again. But this is like the most perfect place to have a little gooseneck where I can just flip and read my Kindle in this comfortable chair. Thank you so much if you made it to the end of today's video. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut us off right here. If you enjoyed watching me make my little makeshift, intimate, temporary reading space, then don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. It helps me and my channel out so much. Thank you for watching until the end. Leave this emoji. I almost forgot. Leave this emoji if you stayed until the very end. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.